My name is Ahmed Olugbenga Babajide Lawal, also known as HOB Lawal. I am a past district governor of Lions Club in Nigeria, and I also happen to be the charter president of the Ikorodu Lions Club. And it is to the glory of God, through the assistance and support of Lions of Nigeria, that I also became the International Director in 2009 to 2011 as the International Director of Lions Club on the platform of the then ISAMI, meaning India, South Asia, Africa, and Middle East constitutional area. Right now, I am a trustee of Lions Club International Foundation, LCIF. But even before I attended that level, I've served in many other capacities. I feel very proud to mention that I was the global membership team constitutional area leader for Africa. At the time, Africa grew to become a constitutional area, that is attaining the 30,000 membership mark, which was given to us by the International Board when I was serving as an international director. I've been the past district governor for more than 30 years now, and we feel very proud about the landmark achievements that were made during my tenure, before and even after, by those that have succeeded me. So, to Almighty God be the glory. So first of all, I must thank my late friend, also an elder. He was several years older than me, and yet we were very close as friends. That was Architect Chief Lai Balogun. I used to visit his office on a regular basis in the 80s. And one afternoon, he just casually mentioned, "Oh, HOB, why don't you think of forming a Lions Club in Ikorodu?" He did not even tell me the details. I did not know what it meant. It's like wanting to obey an elderly friend. So I came back to Ikorodu here, and at that time too, we had the Lagos State Civil Service Club. I was not a civil servant, but I had many civil servant friends. But then many of us that were members of that club at that time too were those in the private sector. Ikorodu then was a very small place. So we gathered ourselves together and we just started like that. And it's still to the glory of God that of the 25 members that started then, 4 are still very much alive, still in the club. Now, unfortunately, my colleagues at that time wrongly thought that I knew more about Lionism than they did. So they kind of forced me to be their charter president. And I tried my best, and since that time, we kind of institutionalized our succession every year. So no president has ever spent 2 terms in office. Spend 1 year out. So that is there. But then with time, I started to get more and more interested in Lionism, because I was still very close to late Chief Lai Balogun, who of course had also recently become a district governor. And until he died, he was the most decorated lion in Nigeria. And so those of us that are much younger used to be fascinated by all the laurels that he had acquired in service. And Lai Balogun was a very generous man, very kind to a fault. I'm not sure that he ever had a friend who regretted knowing him. So, may so rest in peace. So he actually encouraged people like me to be part and parcel of the Lions movement. And at the time I wanted to become the district governor, it was more or less an easy ride, not because my friend was there, but because I'd also put in a lot of effort to know what learning was all about. And we thank God that everything has been working well for learning in Nigeria. Well, learning in Nigeria started in 1963 when a group of expatriates got in touch with Papa Akintola Williams, and the Lagos Joint Lions Club was formed. The club did not get its charter until 1964. So it was formed in 1963, or the charter meeting 63. The club got its charter in 1964, and 1982 was the time I joined. But the club in the 60s and 70s was restricted to Lagos Island, Apapa, later Ikeja, that is Ikeja Lions Club. So it happened that because Lai Balogun was from Ikeja Lions Club, Ikeja Lions Club later turned out to be the sponsor of Ikodu Lions Club. And everything started moving on fine. I remember in 1981, 82, thereabout, it was 1982, we went to attend a convention in Douala in Cameroon. And the official language was French. No provision was made for French to English translation. And it was like we were all asking ourselves, what have we gained on this trip? So inside the Nigeria Airways plane that took us from Douala to Lagos, the elders, I was very young then, decided that never again will we go back to the Francophone countries for convention. Nigeria must become a district. And lo and behold, by 1983, Nigeria attained the status of a full-fledged district. And at this point, I must also pay glowing tribute to the memory of Chief Lai Balogun. Even before many clubs knew of their existence, he paid their dues, and that put Nigeria in good stead to be able to qualify for the attainment of a full-fledged district. So by 1983-84, we got the status of a full-fledged district, and by 2004-2005, that's about 20 years thereafter, we became a multiple district. And now, to the glory of God and service to humanity, cooperation of all the Lions and Leos. We must not forget the Leos, because I'll come to that later. They also played a very prominent role. They played a very prominent role in ensuring that we grew. And now we have 6 districts. Briefly, let me mention about the Leos. Until I became the International Director, it's like the Lions were a bit, quote and unquote, careless about their Leos. And I tell you why. The Leo program, even as of today, remains an investment of the Lions Club, Lions movement. But the mistake we made then was that as soon as the Leos attained the mandatory age of retiring from the Leo club, that is about 30 years, we just let them go. So when we now said, okay, we must go, a decision was taken to ensure that all the former Leos return to the system. Not just return to the system, they should also bring back their friends and associates. And that worked wonderfully well. So within a very short time, Nigeria became the leading light for growth of Lionism in Africa. So I must pay glowing tribute to our Leos for being our very good partners in progress. Talking about constitutional area, brings us into the structure of Lions Club. Now, that is structure adopted by the Lions Club for convenience of management. Now, we have constitutional area 1, that is the US, area 2, Canada, 3, that is the FOLAC, that is the Caribbeans and so on, and Latin American countries, area 4, that is Europe, 5, area 5, that is the OSCE, that is Southeast Asia group, and Area 6, that is ISAME, India, South Asia, and Middle East. Africa is out of it now. Number 7 is the ANZI, that is Australia, New Zealand, and the Indonesia group. And of course, Area 8 is Africa. And we must also understand the politics of this management. If you are not a constitutional area, you cannot have a permanent seat on board. So, in Africa, we were late in realizing that, because directorship used to be rotated with Lions of the Same every 4 years. And a lot of dirty politics came into play, Indians wanting to dominate the system and so on and so forth. But somehow, we got an understanding international president when I was on board. That was the person of past President Albert Wolff of Germany. He called me and asked, HOB, can you show me somewhere in the constitution where it is written that you must attain 40,000 to become a constitutional area? I said, I cannot find it, sir. He said, okay. He said he was going to champion the cause to make Africa a constitutional area. I was very much excited. And of course, the onus then fell on me to prepare the blueprint for growth in Africa. That was what is now known today as Africa Challenge. So, but within the system then, even when I was serving on the board, some past presidents tried to caution him that why don't you challenge these Africans to grow? Don't let them feel that they could just get to the start of the constitutional area on the platform of gold. They should work hard for it. So we work hard for it, and we attain that level. So it is to the glory of God now that Africa now has a permanent seat on the international board, and our directors are elected every even year. So we have one that is on board now. In 2024, by His grace, we are going to elect another person, and we have our eyes on our own international director in the sea, Dr. Cycles. By the grace of God, when we get to the African Forum in Ghana in November, we shall collect the endorsement, and she will come in when we go to Melbourne in Australia for the international convention. Well, I did not take you into the long history of the Lions Flower. It started in 1917 by Melvin Jones and later became international. Edwin Keller challenged Lions to become Knights of the Blind, and so on and so forth. We all know all about that. But the interesting thing is that to occupy the position of office of the international president is also a lot of politics. Now, Africa became a constitutional area in 2019, and we're now in 2023. I think in the last 4 years, we have been stable about our growth. We were about 30,000 in 2019, and today we are about 35,000. And the board had considered it necessary to consider that position to Africa. That is, position of the third vice president for election at the International Convention in Melbourne, Australia. That is 2024. So it's something that moves around. But if Africa gets it this time around, before it can come back to Africa again, it's going to take at least 8 to 10 years. Yeah, it's a game of number. Africa is getting it now, fine. Then another continental area must get it up to Africa. And it has to go round and round like that. And for now, we have 8 constitutional areas. Of course, all constitutional areas are part and parcel of the board. But it's also said that in the animal kingdom, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than the other. More equal than the other in the sense that the US and the Indians, they are there in large numbers. We are just at 5,000. India alone presently boasts about 280,000. US over 300,000. So they have more seats. I think India has about 4 to 5 permanent seats. Now Africa just has one. US, I think about 6 or 7. It's divided among the constitutional areas like that. So the point I'm trying to make is this: if now Africa is getting it, don't think that some constitutional areas will get it back to back. 2. Like the US, for example, if they get it next year, maybe 2 or 3 years after that, they will get it again because of their number. Ditto, India. So the earliest time it can come back to Africa again after this will be about 8 to 10 years. But at least we're happy that they considered Africa fit enough to occupy that position. We hope that we'll be able to get one of us elected in Melbourne in 2024. Upon the attainment of 50 years, the 50 years anniversary, Lions Club International Foundation was formed. I think that was 1965, 66, I hope, right? Yeah. And Lions Club worldwide now is over 100 years. Now, the main objective of Lions Club International Foundation is to assist clubs in meeting their goals. Clubs on their own will strive to accomplish the projects of Lions Club International. But then, Lions Club International Foundation is there to assist all these clubs by giving them grants. And don't forget, the foundation does not generate money of its own. The money is contributed by member clubs. The amount of grants you get is not proportionate to how much you put in. But the most important thing is that you also have to be identified as one of the contributors to Lions Club International Foundation. All right? So, SCIF comes to assist clubs. Some years ago, Lions Club International created 5 core service areas: vision, environment, youth empowerment, feeding the hungry, and of course diabetes, and also pediatric cancer. That is in addition to humanitarian services that we do during flood disaster, earthquake, and other natural disasters that will occur. So, but these clubs at this moment are getting assistance from SIM to play a prominent role in achieving those goals. So that is happening all over the country, and I feel very happy about that. But my only appeal to my Lion friends out there is that we must also ensure that we contribute little drops of water to that central pool from which we have drunk, and we are still drinking, and we continue to drink. Nobody is asking Africans to donate the amount of money equal to what they are trying to do. Far away from that. Everybody recognizes Africa as a developing continent. So they concede to us the right to draw more than we are able to contribute. But at least we must also show our appreciation by contributing to the central pool. We have the Nigerian equivalent of the Lions Club International Foundation. That is Nigerian Lions Charity Foundation, NLCF. That was started even before I became district governor. I remember it was launched by late PDG Lai Balogun, and other district governors after him followed. What is it called? Bidija Bajayi, Irotume, and many others. But when I came in as district governor in 1993-94, I said, let us give foundation the true semblance of a foundation. All the monies generated in the past was spent. So I consulted with late Pa Ola Vincent, retired Central Bank Governor. I said, Papa, we are going to give this foundation the semblance of a foundation, and you must be the chairman. And Papa said, okay, fine, but you know that my rules are tough. He said, what is it? You cannot draw. I said, yes. We don't draw from the money. And Papa gladly managed the funds very well. And it is also the glory of God and service to humanity by all the Lions of Nigeria that foundation has grown big. We have been able to identify with our immediate community in terms of natural disaster, flooding, and so on and so forth. And today we are still playing a very prominent role. I used to be the chairperson of the NLCF, Lions of Nigerian Lions Club Charity Foundation. Now Princess Tychus is the chairperson, and the foundation is doing very well. So, just to mention to you that apart from LCIL, we have the Nigerian equivalent of LCIL, that is Nigerian Lions Club Charity Foundation, and other districts are kind of following our footsteps in that direction. I happen to know that our neighbors here in Ghana, District 418, they have just created, but I was there last May when they launched the Ghana Lions Charity Foundation. So we are doing well. I don't know its age now, but it's very interesting to know that I became district governor at the age of 43. I don't know his age now, but I was 43. As at that time, I was the youngest. And people thought, a young man, what can he do? As a matter of fact, there was a kind of conspiracy against the younger ones then. Because you know how this thing works. If you want to contest, you have to move around the elders and so on. We talked to them, and we could read their body language that HOB, no, go and sit down. And it's not your turn yet. But then what we did then was to return to the drawing table here in Ikodu, kept our cards to our chest, and we got to Benin Convention 1992, and we won. So I'm happy that he also, followed my footsteps, and he won, and he's doing well. So I will continue to wish him well. So all the younger ones should never be deterred by the presence of the elders. All that's required, just respect the elders, but that should not rob you of your right. What keeps you in the Lions Club is your membership, that is by virtue of your ability to pay your dues, and all the younger people as well. The sky is the limit. Let's always imbibe the culture of service, and we must never be tired. Along the line, I must warn, there will be frustrations. That happens in every field of human endeavor. But then what keeps anybody going is the ability and the resilience to be able to achieve great things. So great achievements are always the portion of Shebanjo and the rest of you. I must thank all you wonderful people that are part and parcel of this interview for creating time to come to, quote and unquote, my village. You never considered it strenuous or too long for you to come here to Ikodu from Lagos. So I feel very proud about that.